What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta. You're with D-Boy and we are back to talk about another clan selection box reveals. So this time we have Volume 2 again. And we have already got some reveals from Volume 2. We talked about Royal Paladins, we talked about Oracle Think Tank, and now it's time to talk about Kagero. We already talked about the Dauntless Drive Dragon himself, what he does, how about his old skill, and how does this skill will go through the changes for Kagero. Will this make a big change for Kagero or not? In this video we'll talk about also the grade 2, the grade 1 and the reprints yet again, if these were the right reprints to reprint for this deck. But also let's get back and talk about Dauntless a little bit again. Why not? Because we are here. Alright, before we start the video, we'd like to thank you all for all the support you give to our channel, liking the video, subscribing and commenting, and we are definitely very happy to have you all on our channel as guests, also on some videos, some interviews. So yeah, thanks all for that, and yeah, let's just enjoy this video and these reveals. So some of you may know I'm a big Kagero fan. I've played mostly Spike, of course, but I also have another clans that I like to enjoy. And for standard, the clans that I play at the moment, Spike, like, of course, but I also play BladeMaster, Charlotte, some other decks as well. And I do like Kagero in general. One of the cards that I played a lot in the past was, of course, Dauntless Drive Dragon, because he was the break right for Kagero, one of the, and because of the art, because of everything around that card, I really liked it. I wasn't really that much a fan of Overlord, although I played him. I love the old Overlord, but then when comes the end and all of the other Overlords, the Great, the Cross, or the X, the Ace, I was like, I don't know if I will want to keep playing Overlord. I was more into the Underdog, which was BladeMaster back in the days, and the good thing about Dauntless Drive is he was always nice to combine with BladeMaster, even with their new ability if you want to play in Premium. So this Dauntless Drive kept that Vanguard like break right ability into him, so that's when he has 3 abilities. First one is at the end of the battle, your drive check reveals 2 or more normal units, one of your front row regulars get plus 10k. So this is good. Even if you don't get the trigger, he will give one of your regulars the extra 10k. It's pretty cool. At the end of the battle, it attacked, your hand has 4 or more cards, you discard 3 cards from your hand and you stand this unit. So you could stand him for an extra attack and all you lose is 1 extra card from your hand, but you get the drive check. The thing that I like about this ability is he does help you dig through your deck if you're playing BladeMaster. Today's video I'll talk about BladeMaster, I will not talk about Overlord. So I do like that ability. One other thing, in BladeMaster you normally play lots of draw triggers, so it's good to discard those. And last but not least, this last ability is when rolled upon, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets all the abilities that this card has. So pretty much if you ride on the top of him, you will be able to have this ability, so your BladeMaster will also be able to restand. Is that a big plus for BladeMaster? No, not really, because he doesn't really have that own attack skill or something, but you do normally have a huge Vanguard who could attack twice, which is always a good thing. And again, because of the BladeMaster token, you will be drive checking more and you'll have lots of 5ks in your hand, and this card does make a difference. So you discard those 5ks and you hope to get more triggers. So you keep drive checking more, have 1 extra attack, which is pretty nice. Alright, so let's talk about the grade 2 and the grade 1. So the grade 2 that we have is Break Breath Dragon, interesting name. It's of course a new unit, and he has 2 interesting abilities which have no real cost. So the first one is Auto on Vanguard. At the end of the battle it attacks. If your opponent Vanguard was retired during this turn, you cost, retire this unit, and you draw a card. So it is pretty good, but it also says at the end of the battle it attacks. So you could actually have this, you could attack with him, and at the end of the battle he will remove himself and you will be able to draw a card if something was retired this turn. That ability is actually very good. It's very similar to, of course, Ermo, those kind of ability that they go away and you draw. But the good thing about this card is you could still attack with him and then you could remove him and draw. One other thing is he has a second ability, which is when rolled upon, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and retire it. If not retired, then draw a card. So lots of things that happen when you play BladeMaster is that the first time you ride into BladeMaster, mostly your opponent would not have Vanguards on the field, because yes, they could rush you, but they could lose everything. So mostly they will like, okay, if you want to get the token on your first grade 3 ride, sure, do it, but we will not give you the satisfaction of retiring our Vanguards as well, especially if you go first as a BladeMaster player. While this card will at least give you the draw 1 if you ride on the top of it. So I think a very nice stable to add in Kagero. Also, again, doesn't really have a cost. If your opponent would leave something on the field and you retire it, why not? But most of the time when they see this ability, they want to call Vanguards, and then you have the BladeMaster which retire everything, so they don't want to call everything. So it puts them in a situation where they have to think about, okay, do I want to lose Vanguards or do I want to give them an extra card? And that's about him. And then we go to the grade 1. His ability is actually very similar to one of the cards that we love to play a lot in the standard Kagero, which is a grade 2, and he has a very similar ability, which is alright, you counterblast Soul Blast, and you draw a card and retire something from your opponent. If you draw, if this was sitting on the Vanguard circle, you all know who I'm talking about. If not, search or comment and I will let you know the name. But what this card is capable of is when it's placed, you counterblast, you soul blast, and you draw a card. So that's the first part of the ability. You always draw for a counterblast and a soul blast. His ability only works on rare cards. Then you choose one of your opponent's back row rare cards and retire it. So you could retire something from your opponent, but most of the time you'll be retiring if you play BladeMaster anyway. If you play another deck, then yes, this could help you retire even more. But the good thing I like about this card is you're actually giving a counterblast and a soul blast for a draw. And in Kagero, I mean, in some clans this would be crazy. Why do you give a counterblast and soul blast for one draw? But in Kagero, it's actually pretty good. You want to put some Vanguards on the field, you want to retire some of your opponents. It's pretty good. Then he has also a auto ability, which works on Vanguard, of course, which is when rolled upon, you look at the 5 cards from top of your deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 from among them, you put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So he has a skill when you roll upon, he has a skill when you roll upon, and he has a skill when rolled upon. I mean, how great is this? They are not even close to each other to the art. They are not even close to each other to the skill. But they are definitely close to each other to that kind of a ride chain thingy. One more thing that I definitely like about this card is he looks like the Armor of Victory that we had, which is Alpha, the Spear, the Armor. I do like that a lot, the Dragon Knight himself, Dragon Knight Alpha. And this art definitely looks more like that, which I'm definitely a very big fan of those. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's pretty much... search them. They are from the old Kagero. They didn't get reprinted, and they are not a race, I would say. So I don't know if we will find them here as a race, but we could definitely search them out because we have the Tar as the spear, and we go to the great ones, which we will have, of course, the Bar himself, which I think is embodiment of armor, yes. And then we have the, for the grade 2, it is the Dragon Knight himself, so Alpha, and then for the grade 3s, it's Victory. And let me see if I could find him. Embodiment of Victory. So you pretty much will start by the grade 0 and the grade 1, and you need both on the field, and then when you ride into this, you counterblast 1, you put those 2 into your soul, and then you will be able to get into this card. And these are a very similar art to his, so I definitely like that a lot, that they kinda brought them back in him, which, yeah, that's definitely something that I really like about this, because this was one of the archetypes for Kagero that I really loved to play for a very long time, even in Vanguard 0. So one of the things that got me into Vanguard 0 before we got Sprite Brothers. And then we get to the reprints. So we talked about the new cards, we now talk about the reprints. Of course, we have this card, which is when your Vanguard stand by a card ability, you count +1, discard a card from your hand, and this one get +15 in a crit, because he gives you the ability to restand. This would work even not in an Overlord deck or a premium. So also very nice to get this card, because this was a very expensive promo to get. So again, that's also pretty cool. For the other great ones that we have, we got this card back, which is you Soul Blast and retire this card, you choose one of your Vanguards, get +15k, because now you have Restanding Vanguard. This card, or the card that rides upon it, this will become very strong. Again, not necessarily in an Overlord deck. So again, very good reprints, and also you get it in shiny, so that's good. I mean, it's not an expensive card to get or a hard card to get, but definitely getting it in RRR is nice. And a card that we will never have enough of, which is Ermo. I myself, a big Kagero fan, I don't even own Ermo because I think it was an overpriced card, and I'm not cheap. I mean, you know how much I love SPs and stuff, but I thought it was always an overpriced card, and I didn't feel that it was necessary in a deck, at least in a BladeMaster deck. But now we're getting it back because this deck could retire, and this is kind of a filler. You could put this into your deck and you could actually have it as a booster, and whenever you want to get rid of it, you could get rid of it, and you could play it in every and any Kagero deck. So pretty nice to get him back yet again, but now in a foiling, RRR foiling, so that's also pretty cool. We already had them in the foiling, and then we got the reprint from the Festival collection, which was just, I think, rare or a common. I don't remember exactly what they were, but now we also have him in the RRR foiling yet again. So I think it would still be an expensive card, but I'm definitely a big fan of this reprint. And then of course we have the Vanguard, which will get reprinted again. Also pretty nice. I think I will pick some of these up as well. I have the first one, the second one, and now I have the third one, which are all the reprints. And of course you have the SP one, but that's also pretty cool because you could actually make a new deck with Dauntless Drive, or you could put him in your Overlord deck, or you could put him in whatever deck you like. But pretty much he could also work by himself in the deck, because even when you ride him on top of himself, he will be able to restand, and he will also be able to restand twice, because again, he restand himself with his ability, and then he gets the ability with a card beneath him, so he could restand twice. That's crazy, right? So definitely a very good card to have. Alright, that's actually it for Kagero, and that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you guys are having a great time in this crazy time right now. Try to have as much fun with Vanguard as you can. Get these cards as long as it's for your collection or to play with them. It's pretty cool. It's also good to support Bushi. Bushi made a very smart move about making these boxes the way that they made them, which is it contains a card of each card, so you could, like with your friends, you could buy 4 boxes and you'll be set to go because you have one of every card. So that's also definitely pretty nice. Alright guys, thank you all for watching, thank you for tuning in on our channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Till next time.